Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday, December 22nd. Cold frontal system reaches the I-95 corridor later today. It looks like it'll come through on the dry side. Some clouds, but probably nothing in the way of rainfall. Turns a little bit colder on Friday, and then another frontal system heads our way for Saturday, Christmas Eve. It looks like we'll have occasional rain on Saturday, primarily before noon. It should get out of here by the time Christmas Eve night rolls around, Saturday night. Now, there could be some rainfall that makes it our way towards morning on Saturday. It could be just cold enough in some of the suburban locations for some of that rain to freeze on some surfaces. So be careful for the potential of a little bit of freezing rain very early Saturday morning. But again, occasional rainfall on Saturday, primarily focused during the morning hours, maybe into the early afternoon, then getting out of here by Saturday night. Sunshine returns on Sunday. A moderately chilly day for this time of the year, probably highs in the 40s in Philadelphia, New York City, not too far from 50 degrees in and around D.C. It turns milder on Monday ahead of the next frontal system, but we really have some kind of topsy-turvy temperature pattern setting up for next week into the new year. This is the 500 millibar height anomaly map from last night's European ensemble run. This happens to be for Sunday night, and I really just want to show how transient these air masses will be over the next 7 to 10 days or so. Very significant looking high pressure here in the eastern states. Again, this is Sunday night, Monday time frame. Will certainly be above normal on Monday here in the eastern U.S. with temperatures reaching 50 plus degrees. All the cold air early next week bottled up here across the western U.S. But let's now jump ahead to late next week. And here's the forecast map for Friday night of next week, the end of next week. And indeed, it looks like we have a cold air outbreak coming into the eastern states, a flip in the pattern from the early part of the week with deep trough here in the eastern states, replacing the high pressure ridging that will set up for the early part of the week. So the bottom line here is it looks like a cold air shot comes at the end of next week. As we begin the new year, it looks like it'll be quite cold here in the I-95 corridor, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day with this cold shot. But then you go out a little bit from here, and it looks like that pushes off rather rapidly. And by the latter part of the first weekend of the new year, we're already starting to warm up. So kind of a transient setup here for the next 7 to 10 days or so. Well, let's take a look at the forecast maps now from Friday morning, tomorrow morning, all the way into Sunday morning, which will be Christmas morning. And again, we have a frontal system that will produce some rainfall in the area on Christmas Eve, but it looks like it'll get out of here during the afternoon hours. For tomorrow morning, following the passage of today's cold frontal system, high pressure pushes right into the mid-Atlantic region. It looks like a little bit of a colder day on Friday, perhaps a tad below normal for this time of the year. High temperatures tomorrow afternoon confined to the low to mid-40s in Philadelphia, New York City, maybe the mid to upper 40s across D.C. Some moisture already getting itself together out in the middle part of the country. Let's now jump ahead 12 hours. And here we go. This is the forecast map for tomorrow night, Friday night. That high pressure getting ready to push off the East Coast, and a lot of moisture setting up here across the plains and the upper part of the Midwest in the form of snow here, as indicated by the blues, farther to the south in the form of rain. All these maps from last night's Zero-Z GFS model run, and all available on tropicaltidbits.com. Let's jump ahead another 12 hours. And here's the forecast map for Saturday morning. It's Christmas Eve day. And again, there could be a little bit of rainfall that makes it into the I-95 corridor region right in here towards morning on Saturday. And in the northern and western suburbs, it could be not too far from freezing. Therefore, there could be some freezing on surfaces to the north and west of the metro regions early morning hours Saturday towards daybreak on Saturday. Then basically occasional rain during the morning hours, perhaps as late as the early afternoon in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. But all of that should pull out of here later in the day on Saturday, and it should dry out in time for Christmas Eve night on Saturday night. And here's the forecast map for Saturday night. By this time, precipitation already pulling off the East Coast, basically in the I-95 corridor and to points south and east. Again, drying conditions can be expected in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City late Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. Moderately cold for Saturday night, following the morning rainfall. Finally, let's end on Christmas morning, Sunday morning. This is again the forecast map from last night's 0Z GFS model run. Basically dry conditions, sunshine should return, moderately chilly day. Notice very strong high pressure here across south central Canada. And with the high pressure playing a role in our weather on Sunday, don't expect a very warm day. Certainly nothing like last year. Of course, last year we were in the middle of one of the warmest Decembers, if not the warmest December ever. Christmas Day saw temperatures not far from 70 degrees in the I-95 corridor region between D.C. and New York City. Nothing at all like that this year. Probably the 40s, Philadelphia, New York City, perhaps close to 50 degrees in and around D.C. But again, high pressure to the north playing a big role. Now will prevent any kind of a big warm-up here for Christmas Day. That high tends to push off the East Coast by Monday. We do warm up significantly on Monday into the 50s for the most part, but then that's followed by another cold frontal system. We turn colder again by the middle of next week, and then another cold shot is destined to reach the eastern U.S. at the end of next week. So as we begin the new year, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day look quite cold from this vantage point at the end of next week, the following weekend. So that's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.